Hi, everyone. Coach Sullivan here again from MGS Coaching Football. I just want to thank my subscribers, and to those who haven't yet, I really hope you do. So, I just completed my 38th year coaching football, and in that, I was the defensive coordinator. But over that span, I've been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. Today, in this presentation, I want to talk to you about one of our field boundary blitz concepts that we call Field Baltimore, okay, which is a combo. Okay, so we're going to teach you a lot of things here today for non subscribers. If you hit that button, you'll have access to everything. But I'll give you enough information about the combo itself so you can understand Field and Baltimore. Okay, so today it's versus one wide receiver, 11 personnel, and as always, balls only on the hash. Okay, so these are the key terms, and after I go through them, I'll bring them to life over here up on the diagrams. Okay, got the field on the top, the boundary on the bottom. All right, so first one, why ball on the hash? Well, a number of reasons. Starting with it's the definitive landmark. And then from there, right, this is a field boundary blitz concept. So that means the ball has to be on the hash, at least for us. Okay. Every offense I've ever gone against have definitive tendencies to the field and to the boundary by personnel group. Okay, some are more pronounced than others, but they have tendencies. Okay, so that's why it has to be ball in the hash. So the second thing, number two, what is meant by field? Okay, the signal for field, well, Willie McGinnis, always on the field, hence why we use him here in New England. Everybody knows Willie, and he was a four-down defender. Okay, played through injuries, nicks, bumps, bruises, the whole deal. So field is a combo blitz from the field. Okay, and versus one wide receiver, as you'll see, the safety, which is always going to be the free non-subscribers. Alrighty, so the combo. So this was very important for non-subscribers in particular. It combines a go and a plug opposite, two families. A go and a plug. Combined makes it a combo. Okay? So the Lucky Ringo goes to the go blitz, which is the free. All right? And the plug opposite is the first inside linebacker. So in a 3-4, not hard to figure out, but nonetheless, we have codes and we spend a great deal of time teaching because we never assume. Okay? Excuse me. So the Lucky Ringo, as I said, the plug. So Baltimore is a combo blitz from the boundary, and everything else stays the same. Okay, except now versus one wide receiver, it's the boundary corner, so it's going to be a Colorado. He'll be making the Lucky Ringo call. And then we're also going to show you, because it's a combo, we have the ability to go field stick, field X. We can tag those two things, so it tweaks it, slightly. Okay, so the stick tag, DN calls side sticks A, which pushes nose A away. We'll show you that. The X tag, the nose and the opposite inside linebacker who's executing the plug, they switch A gaps. It's an X. Okay, no effect on the go at all, meaning the go blitzer. Okay, C crash, as we'll see. And I'm going to show you a skin technique for the attached outside linebacker. That means on a tight end, and the technique used to open up the C gap. Okay, because the go blitz is a C gap blitz only. Okay, so now I'm going to take these terms and bring them to life over here. So the ball is on the left hash in both the top and bottom diagrams. Okay, the top diagram, I'm going to show you the field. On the bottom diagram, I'm going to show you the Baltimore. Okay, so yeah, the field is named the same as the field. Yes, it is. Okay, it's a combo. Okay, because the plug's coming from the boundary. Okay, so since it's a combo, I call it the field because the go's coming from the field. In case anybody was wondering. Not to mention, field begins with F, so there's obviously the name field again, right? Baltimore begins with B, as does Boundary, and that's how we do it. All right, so 11 personnel. This is what we call formation into boundary, so it's a Liz. So again, the key component is how do we determine who's available to blitz and who's in the best position available to cover? As we teach our players, my assumption as I'm the defensive coordinator or head coach, hey, they know you're blitzing, they know where you're blitzing, and they have a remedy to take advantage of that. That's where we come from. So we try to have all the answers, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, so to speak. Okay, we take nothing for granted. All righty. So now, because ball's on the hash, I've done this. The kids know it's a Ringo. They're screaming Ringo right now. They don't know which field blitz it's going to be, but then whoever is designated to have the signboard, they're telling them it's the field. And if that's all it is, then they're going to execute the straight combo. Because as that happens, when I clap, the players look to the offense. Okay, so we'll assume it's regular tempo. Could be huddle, no huddle. But regular tempo, no huddle, they're all looking at their sideline, right? So now we see the formation. We see how many wide receivers are. The free safety is screaming Fresno because with one to the field, safety executes it. Okay, so it's Fresno, 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 which kicks in because everything I'm going to do with the defense is going to be in red for your head, which kicks in Roger. Okay, and also kicks in, you're going to hear trio, 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 trio. Somebody in the secondary is blitzing. It's automatic trio, but we scream it anyway because that impacts inside and outside linebackers. Okay? So first thing is when the safety is executing a C crash, okay, because the go equals what we call a C crash. Okay? So what that means is he's got to screw down to the line of scrimmage, and then he's going to have a technique to do it properly. So that starts with what we call snap indicators. So he's under center. Okay? Is the snap indicator, he puts his hands under, he goes left, middle, right, and then starts barking the cadence. If that's the case, that's when he starts screwing down. If he comes out, does the same, and then puts his hands under, if that's the snap indicator to start, that's what we use. So for this presentation, I'm going to stand erect, and when I go like this, the screw timing starts. So screw means for a safety, move down toward the line of scrimmage. Okay, it's a screw down. And the technique is called creep. Okay, the safety has a staggered stance. His inside foot is up, his outside foot is back. So non-subscribers, put the button right on the playlist. So the creep technique on that snap indicator, you move the up foot first. So the speed and everything can vary, but you move the up foot first because as you're moving, right, here's the up foot, you want to have the heel, off the ground so you can be in a position to dig off the front toe and then cross over for a good get off. Dig, crossover. Okay, so that's the creep technique. So here it is. Screw timing begins. So the rover, the attached outside linebacker, in this case the rover, he's hot on the tight end in its orbit, which means he's got force. So now let me erase that for a minute. We say to the safety, we want you to be at the level of the inside linebacker and no closer than about a foot or so from the heels of your outside linebacker. Okay, so this is your landmark area. That's where we want you to be when the ball's snapped. He'll never be offsides. He'll never get caught in a freeze count because of that. And he can see the football and he's reacting. His get off is on the movement of the football. Okay, so now I'm going to skip down to here. What the skin is. So anytime it's an attached outside linebacker and a tight end, he's always knocking back, right? Shooting hands, knocking back. So the technique skin comes from the PAT field goal defense where you have a skin and a jumper, right? You have one guy grabbing, opening the door, and the jumper's coming through to try and block the PAT field goal. Well, that's what's happening here. Okay, so I'll do this in black. He's knocking back, and then he is, okay, shoot, grab, and turn. Shoot, grab, and turn. One motion. Shoot, grab, and turn. Shoot, grab, and turn. Okay? Because a C crash is right off the butt of the tackle. So there you go, non-subscribers. Okay? No, we do not just go off the tight end. That's a D gap. This is C gap. So you got to open up the C gap when there's a tight end. Boom, done. Okay, so the ball snapped. There's your C crash. Okay? So, excuse me. The C crasher is a spill and bend. Spill and bend. So runs to him, he's going to spill it. Runs away, he's going to bend and chase. He never, ever, ever has the boot. Don't put him in conflict and say, spill and bend. Oh, now you also got to give it. Can't do that to a player. Okay? So C crash, he's a spill and bend. Okay? Spill and bend. So the go, okay, right there, is the C crash, which is a spill and bend. And right now we're accomplishing number 2. Okay? So the go rules, defensive end call side, slants B, nose slants A to the call. There's your go. And watch how this works. It's beautiful. The nose, okay, is a part of the go. So the nose follows the rules of the go. And watch how this works out. So in a straight combo, right, field is straight combo. Inside linebacker opposite plugs his A gap. There it is, right? Combine the go with a plug. Combo. Defensive end is already a B gap defender, so boom, done. We don't have to worry about it. Okay? So as you see up here, I've got hot on 1, orbit hot on 2. I erased it. He was hot on the tight end, orbit hot on 1. That's trio. So all I'm going to tell you, non-subscribers, so you have to press the subscribe button, to get the rest, is they all read the surface. So again, you have to push the button. And then if the surface says it's passed, then they're hot on their receivers. That's it. Also on the snap, the safety away from the call, Roger, we spin in the same direction. He rotates middle. Right? We rotate to a 1 high because the safety's executing the blitz. And so meanwhile, when they know it's Ringo, they see it's field, he's screaming Fresno, Fresno, Fresno. The backer's screaming Buffalo, Buffalo, Buffalo. And the backer, once he saw this, it's field, he should have been screaming Buffalo. That's the code name for the backer, Buffalo. And now the Mike knows he's got the running back. Again, he's reading the surface. If it's run, he's reacting to the surface and executing his run assignment. It's pass, he's got the back. Okay? But that's field, which is a straight combo. Okay? So now I'm going to go back. Sorry, here it is. And add the stick tag to it. So watch how this plays out. Okay? So now we're on the stick. Okay, we're on the stick. So here's how the stick tag works. Right? DN call side. Sticks A, which knocks nose A away. Well, that's what the nose does on a go stick. See, nose is part of the go side. So the impact now, inside linebacker opposites plug in B gap, which bumps the defensive end into C gap. So now the combo is, and non-subscribers, right? That's a free go stick. If they weren't running that, that's what a bob looks like. Backer out in B gap. the nose is doing the correct thing for the go stick. He's doing the correct thing for the bob. And that's because we make the nose a part of the call side, the Lucky Ringo side or the go. And when we combine the two, nobody's in conflict. Woo! Okay, so that takes care of the stick. Last but not least, the X. So now we get to the X. The end call side's back to slant and B. So he does the same thing on 2 out of 3, right? As it says down here in the X, nose and the opposite inside linebacker switch A gaps. So, excuse me, nose slants A away, opposite backer plugs opposite A. You know what that is? Non-subscribers, that's called a Baxter. And the X is part of the go. So again, the nose is not being put into conflict. The nose is right on both. And believe me, noses love to hear that. Trust me. Okay? So that is field. So when we want to do just field, whoever's side job it is points to that, I clap. It's straight combo. When it's field stick, they point to that. All I do is make my stick tag signal and clap. If it's going to be field X, again, somebody points to that. Well, that's going on. I'm like this, and they know it's field X. That's all it takes, people. That's it. So now I'm going to go through the same scenarios down here with Baltimore, but not in the same amount of detail. Okay? So again, ball's on the same hash. Now I tell the players it's coming from the boundary, so they're screaming lucky. They have no idea which field boundary blitz it's going to be yet. Baltimore. The Ravens, right? Here it is. Baltimore. So Baltimore, straight Baltimore. Okay, it's the straight combo. The rule in Baltimore is one wide receiver. It's going to be the boundary. So at this point, right, non-subscribers, I don't mind telling you, when the ball's on the hash, the secondary is predetermined. Hence their name. Field corner and the free safety go to the field. Boundary corner. I know whip doesn't begin with a B, but whip is the weak safety, right? Short side of the field. They travel together. That's automatic. When ball's on the hash, they get themselves set that way. Then they look at me in their little scrum. Okay? So now they see that it's coming from the boundary. Again, same thing. Huddle, no huddle, but it's regular tempo. When they get that it's Baltimore, right, and they see it's one wide receiver, he starts screaming Colorado. He starts screaming Buffalo. As soon as he saw that it was Baltimore, it's a combo, he screams Buffalo. Just so happens to be the same inside linebacker. Okay? So Lucky, Louie. Again, we're going to get trio because it's Colorado. Okay? And so it's going to be the same skin technique down here because we have an attached outside linebacker. Again, you see the huts. You see he's middle. All right? So we got all that. It's going to be the same snap indicator. Standing erect. So now, okay, the difference here with our corners, both of them, the foot closest to the line of scrimmage is the up foot. So they're outside leverage. They can see 1, 2 in the surface for run or pass. So now when he starts his creep, that's the only difference. It's really not a huge difference, okay? And so the landmark is, again, it's about a foot behind the outside linebacker. Since he's coming from an outside in angle, not a down angle, we do not use the inside linebacker depth as the landmark, okay? So the same thing here in snap with the ball, skin, right? Shoot, grab, and turn. Shoot, grab, and turn. Open up the C gap. Ball snap, because he's going on movement. He'll never be offside either. Won't get caught in a freeze count. coming hard off the butt of the tackle, right? Go side, call side defensive end, B gap, nose A to the call, backer A gap, and remember he too is a B gap defender just like up there. Now he has running back, right? And I'm going to get to the clamp in a second. Opposite safety goes middle. So when it's the corner, and when I make the safety say clamp, so they always have to tell me they know their assignment, so there's no crap after the fact. Oh, well, no, I knew I. No, you're going to tell me before you know. Okay? Because then there's no doubt. You said clamp, and then if the kid doesn't execute, I can. Son, you said clamp. Why didn't you execute clamp? Right? So what clamp is? All right, you see he's at 12 yards on the hash. Ball's on the hash, whips on the hash. Okay, ball's on the hash, freeze to the field. There it is, boom, done. We keep it simple for the players. Okay, the clamp technique on the snap of the football. He works for width at depth, we say. Work for width at depth, which means stay at 12 yards. Okay, the width at depth also means keep inside leverage, so number one can't cut butt side on you if he were to go vertical. So he plays hot on one from depth. Okay? I always, like I said, right? They know you're blitzing, they know where you're blitzing. So we assume he's going to run a little 2-yard hitch. They're going to play catch. We get that. If they do that, you will come downhill under control, make a good, sure, high tackle. We give up 5 or 6 yards. We line up and play again. All right. I do not want him screaming downhill. He makes a move, makes a miss, and then it's a touchdown, or it's a double move, or it's just a straight go, and it's 2 ships passing in the night. Ain't happening. I'm not a gambler. To answer that question. If somebody else wants to do it, feel free. In 2014 against Coast Guard, this kid did that. He caught a little 2-yard hitch because they're so well coached that somehow they read it. They're that well coached and their players are that sharp. He caught it at 2, made a move. Next thing you know, I'm screaming PAT defense and then saying to the player, because it happened, I said, I heard you say clamp. Why didn't you do it? And the kid just went, I just thought I could make the play, coach. Okay, well, this is why we play clamp technique. And you know what? It never happened again. So sometimes things take care of themselves that way. All right, so you got the rotation. Everybody else is hot. So that takes care of the Baltimore trio. Stick tag, right? Everything stays the same. Defensive end, call side, sticks A. No stick, slants A away, which now bumps the plug to B gap, which bumps the opposite DN to C gap. And there it is. Bob again, right? Go stick with a bob. By making those a part of the go side, he's never wrong. And then the X. Now the call side, defensive end, back to slant and B. Slant A away because the back is going to plug opposite A. And there it is. That's the X. Okay? So for us, again, field Baltimore, field boundary combo blitz versus one wide receiver, ball on the hash only. To the field, it's going to be the free. From the boundary, it's going to be the boundary. Okay, because the boundary corner is always into the boundary. The free is always to the field. And this is our one wide receiver rule. So I said at the beginning to my subscribers, I thank you, and to non-subscribers, I'm hoping I'm making the point. To everyone, questions, please reach out to me at CoachMJSullivan@gmail.com. Starting to happen, and when it does, I'm learning a ton of football. I hope I'm helping the people on the other side of the screen as well, because that's what this is all about.